What do you think will happen in Africa, like right now, you know, what it means to women in football in Africa when they postpone such, because there is no that hakuna ile kelele. You see, the way AFCON was there, the noise was everywhere, but we've not seen that during these WAFCON, because even some people wajua kama ni WAFCON, they just know Harambee Starlets wameenda friendly, wameenda France to prepare, but now the postponement, how does it affect the women footballers in Africa?
I don't know if I'll say it's fortunately or unfortunately I'm having ladies on the show. Now, I want to be hard on CAF. CAF are not serious in terms of their decisions. Going back to how they handled CHAN, there was a lot of inconsistencies. I feel that CAF should stamp its authority when it comes to hosting these showcases. Why am I saying so? Let's take an example. A journalist from Kenya who had already booked his accommodation and traveling plans. What happens? It's unheard of in the modern world. And I believe that as a continent, we need to make sure that we stick to our plans. Though I might be a bit, fair when I bring in the Morocco factor. I think Morocco did want to host this tournament. South Africa were requested to come in as a plan B, but I think they also needed time to prepare. After the Morocco fiasco in the finals of AFCON, I think Morocco are now reluctant to as a government, not as a federation, but as a government, they are reluctant to have any CAF event within their soil. So I'll bash CAF. They need to make decisions. They need to stick to their decisions, because this is a qualifier for the World Cup. The teams that are going to represent Africa are going to be picked from this event. Now, this will, in one way or the other, hamper Africa's preparation for the Women World Cup. So once again, CAF needs to stamp the authority, and what Morocco is trying to do in somehow trying to sabotage the free flow of football in Africa should not be encouraged. They need to stamp the authority and make sure that if it's South Africa coming in, let them bring in South Africa and let's have our dates way early.
To you, Namiso, what do you think about the postponement of WAFCON? After all the preparations, after all the traveling, after everything?
It is very sad to see that happening in such a big tournament. And I feel like that is a failure on the side of planning. And that is something that should not be happening at this age and era. And when you look at it closely, just as Arocho said, that is a qualifier for the women's for World Cup, you know. So right now, at the moment, definitely it will affect how the national team selection for World Cup. Definitely, it was a game that was supposed to give our ladies, our women, exposure to prepare them mentally and physically for what's coming ahead. So right now, having traveled and then you come back, you know, even your morale goes down. You're kind of feeling like, this is not it. So I feel like they should definitely pull their boots up and they should improve so that we avoid these inconsistencies that are happening, and so that we also avoid this from happening in future.
There you have it, so now still on the here in Kenya, yesterday something happened, Arocho, if you remember the Mozambique Cup, and it was so surprising that Baby Bread beat Gor Mahia. I remember, Arocho, we had this talk and I told you they beat FC, and I told you it's a very good team. Baby Bread is a very good team. I saw them play against Maringo United some time back in their league, and I believe yesterday it pulled a surprise. It pulled a surprise that Baby Bread has beaten the #1 team in the SportPesa League. Arocho, were you expecting that Bibi tapiga Gor Mahia?
Well, I was not expecting that. I want to be honest. I attended that match, and football was defeated yesterday. Why am I saying football was defeated? Bibi Bread, Gor Mahia had all the possession. They had all the attack. They had all the the control of the match, but they didn't get the goal. That's why I'm saying football was beaten, because BB Bread got one chance and they scored. But it happens in soccer. This is not the first time that a small team has performed well in this knockout tournament. Remember, some time back, we had the likes of Rivertex in Eldoret. We had the likes of Mathare United. Remember that Mathare United won this very tournament when they were still in the lower league, beating very big teams. They won against FC Leopards in the semi-finals of that edition. But it should be a turning point for Gor Mahia. It should be a wake-up call for Gor Mahia. I saw a very disjointed team in Gor Mahia. I saw a team that was not inspired yesterday. There was nothing to inspire the team. Yes, they had some of their big players in the likes of Alpha Nyango not playing that much. In the first half, in the second half, sorry, they brought in several other players who they thought perhaps could rejuvenate the team, but the team did not tick. So it should be a wake-up call for Gor Mahia, and I've been saying it on this show. This Gor Mahia is not convincing. I've watched Gor Mahia play against Muranga Seal. They won against Muranga Seal, but I was not convinced that these are the league contenders. They played against Bidco, the same thing happened. They won against Bidco after going down, but I was still not convinced. The other day, they won against Mathare United in the dying second. No, they picked a draw. They equalized about 5 or so minutes before the game ended. So it's a team that is still not convincing. And I fear for Kenya, if in any case, Gor Mahia in its current state will represent us in the Champions League.
Before I come to you, Namiso, let's listen to what the players had to say. Because the fans yesterday were very angry with the coach had to be escorted, Coach Charles Okono. Let's listen to the players about yesterday's game.